But my parents died in a car accident.
It was no accident. It was an assassination attempt. I thought only Austin survived. I should have told you the truth earlier, but those Belgians, they made you so damn evil.
All right, all you RYAO hooligans. Woo! We're out here running around like a bunch of fooligans. This is the RYAO Network Rockcast.
Yeah.
Check out our website at ryao.net. Head over to the Contact Us page on that website where you can link to and dive into our Facebook, Twitter, and other social media.
Face first.
As always, we're here with our good friends Nick Sabat on sports.
Hello, hooligans.
And Sticks Hooligan on weather.
Hey, all you street walkers and night stalkers out there, I hope you're having a good time too. Night! Okay, what's going on your end?
We're switching it up a little bit here. We're gonna do, instead of all of us sharing our beer, we're just gonna do a featured social lubricant of choice. And thank you very much. I will go first.
You're gonna go first. What you got?
This way, we were talking before. I think we can get into some whiskeys and other kind of fun drinks as well as the beer. So get some more sponsors.
Yeah.
So the featured beer today is the Sierra Nevada Hop Bullet. It's a double IPA and a big can. When I first heard Hop Bullet, I thought maybe it was going to be a suppository, which made me a little bit nervous.
Oh, come on!
A can? I have a big can. That's
a big can.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be shoving a can up my can, and then I thought, no, that's really not necessary. It's just a beer.
You got some big cans there.
I'm looking for the alcohol percentage and I can't find it. Let's just say it's
9,
somewhere between 3 and 12.
Perfect.
No, I can't find it. I don't want to waste time looking for it.
It's a Hop Bullet.
It's all right. We got time.
19.2 ounces, and it does not say. I can't see it.
Yeah, it's a double. It's a tall can. It's a big, tall can you got there. Sierra Nevada, they're producing some good beer straight out of California.
Yeah, I can't find it right off the bat what it is, but it's very hoppy. Okay, loose end from, I think it was last week. I wanted to mention that I couldn't think of the name of the Michael Jackson movie. It was called This Is It. It was the movie 2019 film that it was all these clips from the
you do that well, Stiggs.
concert that he was putting together. And anyway, that was a good movie. I recommend it.
It was a good movie.
It's
out in theaters this weekend. No, it's
not. Wait, does he die at the end, or is he still living at the end?
Well,
just
tell
me.
It.
Yeah, don't blow okay, never mind. You're right.
Don't blow it, beat it. What? No.
Beat it. Blow it. Blow it.
The other loose end I want to highlight today is I want to say a big hello to our 8 listeners in Belgium.
Hello,
what?
Belgium.
Yeah. So just
we love Belgium.
Appreciate the Belgium people and that's all I have to say.
Hi, Belgium.
We hear you out there. Wow.
Let me hear the wild animals on the floor from Belgium.
All the Belgians on the left. Let me hear you.
Wasn't that Austin Powers' big thing about people from Belgium? Wasn't Goldmember from Belgium and the Belgians made Dr. Evil so damn evil?
Oh, really?
Wasn't that part of the movie?
Yeah, with the Belgians.
Belgium.
We'll have to review that. I don't get that, but we'll review that and see where that comes from.
We'll do that on a future show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Belgium.
Sticks, you had something else you wanted to bring up. Something sort of time pertinent.
You're goddamn right, baby. You're goddamn right. And it has nothing to do with Belgium, but it should. It has to do with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Woo!
we got the induction people. We got the possible inductees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced today as we speak.
Yeah.
And I was wondering about getting your opinion on some of these people. I can't read all of these because, my God, I'd be an auctioneer going hamana, 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 hamana. Can you guys auctioneer, by the way? Have you guys ever done an auction?
I don't think that's auctioneer. Isn't that the guy from the Honeymooners? That goes hamana,
hamana, hamana, hamana, hamana. Yeah, no. Kay, have you ever been to an auction? Have you ever done an auctioneer?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit in 2, a little bit in 3, give it a 3, give it a 3, give it a 3, 4, 4, 4, give it a 4, 4, 4, 4, give it a 4, 4,
That's
50,
really
4, 55, 55, 55, 55.
God.
Nope. Never
I'm
done
not
that
buying,
before.
but are you selling? What?
Wow. For all you Belgians out there who ever go to auctions, I'd love to hear it. But let's go through some of these people who are in that auction, who are going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, possibly. And let me get a thumbs up or down on this. Devo, do they go in or do they stay out for now? What do you think?
I looked at the list, and every time I see the list, I just keep thinking, well, they should all go in.
Oh, yeah?
I don't really understand the whole thing. It's like, why don't you just put them all in the Hall of Fame because they're all good?
Only some can go in this year, and then they can hold off some for next year, but some are more worthy, I guess, of going in right away.
Is that what it comes down to? Or, what are the eligibility requirements? Maybe we should start there. I'm kind of serious, kind of kidding, but so many years within the music industry?
25 years within the music industry.
Okay.
And then you can just kind of base it on whether you think they're important enough. Did they revolutionize what their form of music was? I guess it kind of depends on what your criteria are for, what this...
Well, I don't understand why Jay-Z and LL Cool J would go into the Rock and Roll Hall
you're
of
blowing
Fame.
the list, dude.
Well, let's start with Devo. I'm going to say Devo, and maybe I'm uneducated when it comes to Devo, because I've shared with everybody who listens to this Rockcast that I have a closed mind when it comes to music, and I'm going to say no. Devo is not deserving of being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
All right, that is one.
Because all I know is Whip It. That's all I know.
But we can't go through every single one of them. We'll have to have
only some of them.
3, 4 Rockcasts.
So I'm going to say thumbs down.
That's why I'm saying Devo. We only got like a handful, but Devo, Kay, do you think they're worthy of being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I think they have to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because they're iconic.
I agree. Sorry, Nick. You've been outvoted.
I'm fine.
But I tell you what,
I'll listen to Whip It tonight. I don't know. Maybe it'll change my mind once I hear that song again.
Yeah, maybe you don't whip it good. Maybe you whip it bad. But there is a band that
maybe
might
I whip it well.
whip it well. There's another band that I think we need a sound drop. Kay.
Whip it really well.
We need a Food Diction sound drop for the next band. Foo Fighters are eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Nick,
even a fucking debate.
Nick, should they go in?
Across this table, if either one of you,
I'm going to go with no.
Whoa!
That's it.
Well, because
Come here.
Whoa!
Ow! Of course you put the Foo Fighters in. They're going on 26 years. Jesus.
I think that
crazy?
The Foo Fighters alone stand, just in and of itself, the Foo Fighters. But look at who makes up the Foo Fighters. You got T-Hawk, you got Dave, you got Pat Smear. Come on.
This is the reason I don't think that maybe the Foo Fighters should go in this year is because they're too active. Don't you kind of want to go out to pasture a little bit when you go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
That's not an eligibility requirement, though. So you're going to put Devo in, but you're not going to put the Foo Fighters in.
Oh,
no, I just said that because I wanted to be,
My blood pressure is going up. So, okay, we all agree. They're going in. Okay, who's next?
we all agree. And the Foo Fighters just came out with a brand new album this week, which sounds pretty fucking kick-ass to me as far as what I've heard on the world. Let me run by a couple quick names. The Go-Go's. Quick, yes or no?
No. This is where it really gets bad for me because I'm going to say yes to all of them. I don't see why they can't all go in there. I think we should jam them in there,
Okay, so Kay wants
kind of like at a deli when they
there's
jam
only
the potato salad into the container.
There's only a certain amount of room on the wall that they can hang the plaques.
That's right. They only have 5 spots.
Double, you're going to have to start overlapping plaques and stuff. And
make them smaller.
I see. That's why I don't get the Hall of Fame thing, because I think that.
So everybody gets a trophy. That's your thought.
Oh, is that what you think, Kay?
But I mean, like, why do you have to get an award to be awesome? Like, what's the whole shtick behind getting into the Hall of Fame? I don't get it.
There's got to be more to this. More. Yeah.
The only time Rush became pertinent and relevant in my life was when they became Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. Before that, I could give two shits. All right, Go-Go's, they get in real quick.
Yeah.
You mentioned before, Kay, Jay-Z and LL Cool J are not in the same, they're rap, but they're not in the same. They're two different individuals. Jay-Z for sure, I would think, and LL Cool J, I guess.
Yes.
I guess. What did he do that was like
Mama Said Knock You Out?
Mama Said Knock You Out! That's a good
Who's the
song.
guy with the clock that Nick? You got a picture with him one time.
Oh, I'd love to share my
Flav's got to go in.
story one
If
day.
those guys are going in, then Flavor Flav's got to go in too.
Can I drop all this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame bullshit and just talk about how, Nick, you met Flavor Flav where? I said Flavor. Oh my God, how Midwest am I?
Oh my God!
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
Exercise the demons.
How did you meet? You met Flavor Flav where and how?
Are we derailing this show?
We're
We're
stopping.
This story?
Yes, we're derailing it to the next break. Tell us how you met Flavor Flav.
I say we come back and revisit this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame list in future shows, maybe piecemeal. But if you want to hear the Flavor Flav story, Mrs. Sabat and I were in Vegas, and we went to the Hard Rock Casino, and we heard a commotion, and then you hear his voice, and so you go over there. He wasn't singing, but he was on this platform, and there was a crowd gathered around. It was probably already midnight, and he was talking into a he was talking into a microphone, and he was surrounded by his posse. And then again, there were fans, I guess you want to call them, around this platform. Maybe 100 people or so.
It's kind of like at a car show where they put him on a platform and started turning him 360.
And his teeth were glistening in the lights.
Oh, pretty.
But anyway, so, I don't know. It was pretty entertaining, and he seemed pretty cool. And then he's walking off the platform, and he trips. He falls. And then you hear this collective, oh. And then he could have got really, really pissed, but he didn't. And so, the joke of that night was I was trying to get Mrs. Sabat to go up to Flavor Flav so I could take a picture with her and Flavor Flav, because it's, they're not anything alike, looks, personality. I mean, it would be hilarious, right? And so it never did happen. And I don't know what those hand signals mean, Kay. so we
the
go
hand jive.
We go gamble, and then I'm disappointed because I never get a picture with Mrs. Sabat and Flavor Flav. And so we're leaving the casino. It's probably 3 a.m.
Wow.
And just as we're going out the door, who's there? It's Flavor fucking Flav.
Whoa.
And then I tapped Mrs. Sabat on the shoulder. I said, here, we have another opportunity. It's destined to happen that you take this picture with Flavor Flav. And so I convince her, and she's walking up to him to ask to take a picture with Flavor Flav.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, sure. And then I see this shadow coming up behind me, like someone's walking behind me. And I'm thinking, I'm about to get clobbered by his bodyguard or something. And there's this huge guy that comes up, and he taps me on the shoulder, and I look up, and he says, do you want to get in the picture with him?
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I said, well, hell yeah,
He was going to say one of two things. Do you want to get in the picture, or do you want to get your ass kicked?
Right. I literally, saw my life flash before my eyes. So the bodyguard took my phone, and he took a great picture of me, Mrs. Sabat, and Flavor Flav. And Flavor could not have been a nicer guy. So there's my Flavor Flav story. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, we're going to leave that there and take a break. We'll be right back.
Hey, hooligans, this is The Edge.
And this is Bono from U2.
And you're listening to the RYAO Rockcast. Go blow yourselves.
all you hooligans and fooligans out there, I want to bring up a topic of great importance right now. I was looking at ultimateclassicrock.com, as we all do every day, right? Right.
Sure. Yep. Part of
And
our
it's 2021.
show prep.
And it's the year is 2021, as you guys have fucking figured out on your calendars. And that means that there are a bunch of albums that came out a long time ago that are having anniversaries. UltimateClassicRock.com came out with a list of 81 albums that came out in 1981
Wow.
that I think are crazy cool to look back on.
40 years.
40 years. Some of us were...
There's a lot of good albums on there.
Some of us were in our diapers at the time. Some of us were in our shorts. Some of us were in our... what else would there be?
Izod.
Members
Polo
only
shirt,
jackets.
no pants, like Pooh Bear.
like Donald Duck in it. That's right. You're goddamn right. And so I set the list around to all of our homies here, all your friends here at the RYAO Studios, Nick, Kay, me, and we each picked out 2 albums off the list to highlight, that raised our eyebrows, that got our little peckers to go, woo! But one of is that? Am I just speaking for myself? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, maybe.
One of the
Maybe a
albums
little
that
bit.
stood out from 1981 for me off the list, and we will share this link, by the way, on the show notes for wherever the fuck you guys get your rockcasts, was Billy Squier. Had a phenomenal fucking album with Don't Say No, which if you take out the double negatives means say yeah. But he didn't call it say yeah. He called it Don't Say No. And you know The Stroke, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure you
Right?
do.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows The Stroke. Everybody might know In the Dark, which is a fucking great song. Everybody might know My Kind of Lover.
Well, half the album is what they play on every classic rock station as a staple.
Yeah.
You are goddamn right. Lonely as the Night. That's another one that's kind of like, that's almost half the album right there. And the other half of the album that you probably don't hear on classic rock is phenomenal too. Quite honestly, he's barely got one ballad on the album, but this is like true faded jeans, white wife beater t-shirts. I shouldn't say wife beater. That's not the right term anymore. It's terrible. Edit this out.
It
That's
paints a
not
good
right.
visual, though.
Yeah, but my dad used to wear white sleeveless t-shirts under his shirt, and that is exactly what Billy Squier used to wear. And it's not metal. It's just classic hard rock, 3 guitars and drums, and that's all it really fucking is, with some keyboards in there. If you haven't heard this album, you need to fucking hear this album. It is fucking nominal and doesn't get enough attention that it deserves. But I'm not the only one who picked an album off this list. Kay, you picked an album off this list too. What you got? What's your number 1 pick?
I picked. We did 2 albums, and we'll kind of go around and talk about the other one here when we come back. But I picked out 38 Special, Wild Eyed Southern Boys.
Nice.
And so I'm not the reason I picked that one is because it's a lot of the songs on there I did not really know, but I knew one of my favorite songs is Fantasy Girl. Because it's just, I don't know what it is about the guitar sound on that and the guitar riff on that, but it just tickles my fancy. And I think we all know Hold On Loosely, which is a staple song in classic rock.
That stands a test of time, too, that song, Hold On Loosely. I mean, it sounds just as good today as it did 40 years ago.
It does. Yeah. It's just a solid, the sound of 38 Special was sort of that really, you know, just a solid sound. It never gets old. It's always there, and it's kind of like a foundational sound. Yeah. But I can honestly say that when I went through the album today, I didn't. I liked a lot of the songs, but I didn't. I hadn't really heard them, and it really drove home for me that I need to listen to full albums more than just individual
you go.
tunes.
Hot
Interesting.
damn.
Yeah, because there's a lot to learn. You're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that, this song was that. Or you'll discover something when you listen to music in a little different way here and there and sort of force yourself to do that. You'll discover a lot of really cool things.
Good for you.
Nick, tell us your first one out of the two.
The first one I chose was Joan Jett. And let's just face it, Joan Jett has earned her badge to be a badass. Joan Jett is a badass. I've seen Joan Jett several times in concert, and she's usually an opener to an opener at some sort of festival. But you look around the audience, and everybody knows the Joan Jett songs. But I listened to the I Love Rock and Roll album, and the things that stuck out to me on that album, the first one was Joan must have been going through some tough breakups at the time. You have songs on that album like You're a Nag, You're Too Possessive, Love Is Pain.
That's a good song, though.
Run
You're a
Away.
Nag is a
Damn
good
it.
song.
It is. And some of these songs kind of had this, it's almost like a Beach Boy vibe mixed with punk rock, kind of like a sha-na-na-na-na-na-na, that whole type of thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know
I had a
what you're talking
smile on my face for the entire album. And then, so Joan Jett was 22 at the time when she made this album. And there's cover songs on the album. So there's Louie Louie, there's Summertime Blues, and
That was a good
Little
version.
Drummer Boy. So it's kind of like, yeah, I've got my own. I've got, and it's the actual Little Drummer Boy Christmas song that we all know. So it's kind of this mix of, hey, I've got my own tunes, but we're still a party band and we're doing some covers too. And
Well, Nick, I noticed that when I listened to that album that there was a lot of, they almost like they recorded it sort of like live. They were very loose in the studio and sort of, back and forth in each other before they'd start the song and stuff like that was left in the recording.
Yeah, there was a lot of banter in a couple of the songs, which was interesting. Obviously the song that owns that album is I Love Rock and Roll, and so if you listen to the whole album, it's a fun listen. But and maybe it's just because we're all familiar with that song, I Love Rock and Roll. But that one is by far the best song on that album. And there's not really a person who's familiar with rock and roll music these days that does not know that song. So to think that Joan Jett had this very epic song at such a young age and talk about standing the test of time, man, that hits a home run right there.
Yeah.
Is it hard? Is it hard to sometimes to listen to a song like "I Love Rock and Roll" and because you've heard it a million times, of course? Can you ever try and listen to it as if you had never heard it before and it's fresh and you're hearing it like nobody's heard it before? It's the first time you've heard it. It's bombastic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but every time it comes on, it's kind of like, yeah, this is a good song. And it's pretty basic, but it's a classic. It's iconic.
It's got it's got the 60 garage band beat to it, but it sounds like all the shit that was coming up in the 90s with the kind of the punk pop sound, which you perfected. And I don't know if you know this is a little known fact before we go into break, but Little Drummer Boy was going to be, I heard that Jesus was going to come back and that was going to be his soundtrack. But for some, it didn't happen. I don't know if the contracts didn't go through or what happened, but Joan Jett still put it on her album and rocked the fuck out of that song. Merry Christmas to Joan Jett. Can we go into break, Kay? I'm tired.
We will.
We're tired. Let's take a break.
First, there was rock. And now, there's RYAO. So join us each week on the RYAO Rockcast, where we talk about life, music, and more. From the silly to the serious, the profane to the profound. Never stop rocking.
Hey, hooligans, we're back. This is Nick Sabat, joined in the RYA studios tonight with Steve
Hi, Nick.
Hooligan and K.
How
Master
are you,
General.
Nick?
K. Double K is what we like to call him.
Present.
This broadcast is going international all the way to Belgium. All those 8 crazy motherfuckers over there listening to this broadcast. And we are talking about 40th anniversary of albums. And my second pick tonight is AC/DC, For Those About to Rock. And I will say that I chose this album because I have an older brother who was pretty influential on the music that I listened to as a youngster. And I recall, so this was 1981. I think he went to go see AC/DC in concert on this tour in 1982. So he was probably 19 years old. And he described the concert to me afterward, you know, with the whole cannon for those about to rock, and the cannons going off and the pyrotechnics. And I was just like, wow, that sounds super, super cool. So this is the reason why I chose this album. AC/DC, man, you know what? This music stands the test of time. It's that wall of sound that I'm attracted to. A couple of my favorite picks on that album, Let's Get It Up. That's one of the bookends on that album, if you ask me. And then For Those About to Rock, I mean, that's the name of the album. It's one of the iconic, greatest songs of all time in all rock and roll. And you can just get, you know, I've never seen AC/DC in concert, unfortunately, but I suspect it would have been something to see for the cannon to be going off, the pyrotechnics, and I'm not quite sure if they closed the show with that song or not, but regardless, it was probably epic when that song.
Nick, when I listened to this album again, I was, like with some of the other albums, I realized that I need to listen to more albums because those two songs were the ones that probably, you know, the big heavy hitters that I knew.
Yeah.
But I needed to know the others too because they were really good tunes.
Yeah, and I wasn't really sure when Let's Get It Up came out. So when I heard that on the album, I was like, hey, yeah, it fits well with the rest of the album. Sticks, what are your thoughts on this album?
You know what? There's a little known trivia fact that before they had the cannons, and there was even a cannon on the front on the album cover.
Right.
But the first initial thing was a kazoo. So when they said For Those About to Rock, fire, and everybody in the audience had a kazoo, and they go, and they realized test marketing, right? They realized
it doesn't have the punch.
It doesn't have the punch, Kay. Right. Exactly.
It's really a good way to engage the audience, but it's not something that you really want to record and put on the album.
You know there's supposed to be something there. What's it going to be?
Yeah, so 10,000 people sounding like a flock of geese did not go over well. And they realized, let's bring out the fucking cannons, and they blew the fucking places up everywhere they went, including your brother's concert, I'm sure. That's trivia for you, courtesy of AC/DC. But that album is fucking... Night of the Long Knives is another album cut that nobody ever hears, but great song. Great song. Good pick. Good pick.
Hey, Kay, what's your next pick?
Woo!
Well, my next pick was Van Halen's Fair Warning.
Yeah!
Now, I'll tell you. Let's see. So, signature Eddie Van Halen tapping going on at the beginning of that tune. But this album was something that was sort of like to me, when I first absorbed this album way back when, I didn't even picture the band playing the music. It was sort of like as weird as this sounds, it sort of was like a concept album to me because it holds your interest. You listen to the lyrics and the songs kind of paint a picture or a concept or a movie in your head, you know, because the way that they did it, at least maybe it was maybe a little bit of my imagination at work as well, but it wasn't as much of just I want to put this song on and turn it up really loud in the high school parking lot when I come in. You know, it was more like I would sit and really listen to the song, and so that's why I picked that album. It's weird though because some of the tunes on the album,
what stands out,
like Dirty Movies was a very concept-y image type tune.
Yeah.
And Unchained turned out to be a live favorite for a lot of people when they would play that live. And Sunday Afternoon in the Park
So hold on. So what do you think about the instrumental on that album? Because it's fucking different than any other instrumental that they've ever had on their other three albums.
Sunday Afternoon in the Park is the instrumental. I forgot how many minutes it is. Well, I don't really know. I wouldn't go into the details about the equipment and stuff that he used for that. It was really a weird thing. But he used a synthesizer, and of all things, Valerie Bertinelli.
Double IPAs creeping up on you.
Thank you.
In her book, she had written that Eddie was inspired to that instrumental from the stress of their upcoming marriage. And that's what made it such a very intense and kind of crunchy, and that was the feeling that he was feeling. It's weird that she would say that and mention it, but that was the intent of that song, and it was a stressful type of sound. And actually, one of the few synthesizer songs of the pre-1984 era for Van Halen. They didn't use synthesizers very much.
That's
before
interesting.
Hey, did I tell you guys that I ordered pizza for you guys tonight?
Are you
really?
fucking me?
Yeah, it's here. I'll be right back.
Oh,
all right.
yes.
Well, thank you. You go off.
Get
I'm
over there.
gonna keep talking about. I gotta say, because this is like the one Van Halen album from the classic era, the 6 albums from the classic era that it seems dark. You know, like Diver Down, the next album sounds like sunshine and partying and drinking with your friends. This whole album sounds like nighttime, midnight.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a that's why I liked it, is just like I said, it's interesting to listen to see like what are they going to do next. I would probably think that when I listened to it originally, I probably didn't even like it, and then it just sort of grew on me with time, with repetition.
I'm glad you said that, because I know some people think this is like their best album, and there's some stuff, you know, outside of Unchained, of course, and Sinner's Swing, which is like classic Van Halen, like party stuff. But there's some real dark shit in here. It's like it's not the party Van Halen that you're used to.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you guys like corned beef and cabbage on your pizza. My input on this album is Unchained, off the hook, man. That's just one of my favorite songs of all times. And I know it's a classic Van Halen and everybody goes to it, but they go to it for a reason, because it kicks ass.
Yep. And to me, like I said before, it it was more of a live. When I heard Unchained live, I liked it better than I did even on the album. So I don't know.
And Michael Anthony, the human fire plug, Michael Anthony was quite the bassist on this album. So salute to you fucking fire plug, wherever you are.
Salute.
Salute, little Michael Anthony.
Another hee-haw reference.
All right, Sticks. What was your second of the two that you picked?
My final one is is not in the hard rock vein at all. It's ELO's Time, and you're probably thinking, what the fuck would I care about ELO?
No, I listened to it today. I listened to that album. It was weird.
It was weird, but you know what? Rewind to 1981, right? This is the first time that people are actually getting like, okay, so this is the year that I got my Atari VCS, my 2600 in the house. And so this is like think about this. This is like electronic music is coming up. Video game music is coming up. Arcades, you're going to the arcades. I used to go to Aladdin's Castle at the mall.
Oh, yeah.
And
just for the women alone.
Oh, the hot women at the arcade in 1981 and 82.
Ooh.
And you know
Excuse
what?
me for a moment. I need to take a little breather.
Yeah, well, let's take a pause here and
take a knee for all the hot women and
okay,
Aladdin's
I'm done.
Arcade.
I'm done. I'm back.
But even, I tell you what, there was even an arcade in the Sears store of all fucking places, the end cap at the mall. And you'd walk through these Sears and you could walk through the perfume aisle and the pottery aisle, and you go to the fucking arcade at the Sears
It was
arcade.
behind the men's business suits. It was behind that.
Yeah.
area on the second floor.
Yeah, and the MILFs, the 1982 MILFs were there at that point.
Yeah, they were
And
waiting
you'd rub
outside
your
for their
eyes.
kids.
Yeah, you'd get your tokens. You get your 4 tokens for $1, and you rub your eyes. Does this have to do anything with the fucking album? No.
You put the coins in your eyes and you come out.
I know.
You want one of these tokens? My go-to were
baby.
Dig Dug and Red Baron.
Hey, baby, you want to play Berserk, baby? So this album.
Were you reviewing an album or what?
No, we're reviewing the fucking arcade situation in 1982, which was if you weren't there, you don't understand the importance of going to the arcade at the time when you were 11 and 12 or 10 or whatever. But this fucking album had like the first electronic kind of, synthesizer heavy.
Very synthesizer heavy, yes.
Which sounds maybe dated at the time now, but also because it was a kind of a concept album about time. And
Right.
I remember being a preteen at the time and listening to it, and they were talking about what the fuck. Remember the good old 1980s when things were so uncomplicated? That was one of the lyrics in the album. It was 1981, and my little 12-year-old brain was blown by remember the good old 1980s. Like we haven't even started the 1980s, and you're talking about reminiscing about it.
Yeah.
So I talked about time travel and being regretful and remember the good old days, which were happening at the time. How fucking prescient is that? That is fucking awesome to do. And of course, I think Hold On Tight to Your Dreams was the big song off that album.
Right.
But it deserves a fucking listen. It talks about having an affair with a computer. You're in love with somebody who's not real. And that fucking predated the internet by 15 years. So there's a lot of cool of the future kind of shit going on there. So at any rate.
It was a weird album. I need to listen to it again.
Yeah, similar but
It was a
different,
weird
but
album.
What you just said reminds me of 2000 Man by Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of the buzz of like, my kids just don't understand me. It's like, what fucking rock and roll songs talks about the kids don't understand you as a parent?
My name is a
It's
number.
supposed to be in
Whoa.
Well,
sort
that's good.
It sort of reminded me of a Pink Floyd-ish kind of album,
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. But I tell you what, there are a bunch of fucking albums. So we're gonna probably do a series over the next 6 months about the rest of the 81 albums on that list.
We've only touched on 6 of them.
Yeah.
75 to go.
We haven't talked about
Got
Rush.
a lot of topics to cover.
Rush had a live album come out. Iron Maiden had shit come out.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of shit coming out. So we'll forget about it until next week because we got a lot of shit. We got so much fucking shit to talk about, dudes.
We do.
We'll post that
We really
link
do.
though, and then people can check it out and write in and tell us their favorite album of those of that suite of albums that turned 40 this
Yeah.
year.
Great
Let's hear
idea.
from you, Belgium. Come on, Belgium.
All right. Let's close it out for today. Thanks for joining us. Our website is ryao.net. Front and center on the website homepage, you can click on the Listen to Our Rockcast button and go directly to a listing of links to all of our Rockcasts. You can always search for us, the RYAO Rockcast. Write into info@ryao.net, and if you have a platform that you'd like to see us on, we'll think about it. But tell us what you'd like to see us on.
And don't fall off the platform like Flava Flav did.
Don't fall.
Oh,
Don't fall off the platform, or you'll suffer the fate of Flava Flav.
now.
Oh my gosh!
If you go to Pornhub and search Flava Flav, you might find us on Pornhub, right? Is that right, or is that wrong?
I think you're right.
Cut.
And I could pick Flavor Flav up and put him in my pocket and just take him home with me if I really wanted to. But I didn't want to. So.
All right, see you next week, everybody. Go blow yourselves.
Later, motherfucker.
Never stop rocking.
Love ya. Bye.